Come on in. Kyle Matson, come on in. It's crosstalk time. Tomorrow, SFYBL.
Okay.
Big day, SFYBL. It's opening day, right. Little League. I'm doing the emceeing. I think it's like 4th or 5th straight year. And London Breed will be out there. The Fire Chief will be out there. We'll be throwing out first pitches. My squad, Carl's Beacon, will be out there representing.
What time?
Get there like 10:45, 10:30. Right. Festivities are going to be all day. We're going to be throwing the ball around. It's supposed to be dry in the morning. You know, turf field at Kimball. So it should be a good time. If you have a Little Leaguer or if you're interested in maybe seeing what Little League is all about, it's a really cool day to go out there. Everybody, baseball's dead. Not when you see the thousands of people out there tomorrow. I'm excited.
And will Tesla S or X or nothing? All right, there it is. Xfinity Fast 5. Brought to you by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi, unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity. Dibs.
Nothing better than Little League opening day. I played in Fairfax, and our field was the Lefty Gomez field, named after the
very cool
Lefty Gomez. Apparently, when he retired, was a Fairfax resident.
I did not know that.
Lefty would come out, and I remember being like 10 years old, and Lefty came out to throw the first pitch, and he was probably in his 70s by then.
Yeah,
and it was a special moment. And I got the start as a 12-year-old, and I go out there, and I'm a thumber. I got nothing, kid. I'm just trying to throw strikes. Fly ball, left field, Dave Williamson. He camps under it. Slam in the face, broken glasses.
Jose Canseco.
Ambulance. No, it shattered his face.
Wow.
Out for the year.
Gotta have the Chris Sabo guy.
Opening day. That was opening day.
And typical Dibley, I look out there and totally, dude, make a play. Before I even knew how bad it was, I'm going full Iguodala. Like,
as a 12-year-old.
Dude, the arms are up. Like, come on, bro. That's a can of corn.
It was a packed house, right?
Packed house. Bunting, the whole deal. He's on the ground.
The whole deal.
He's on the ground, like rolling around, and I'm like, dude, make a play.
Now, did you guys play on?
Of course. It was the 70s. Of course we played on. You know, somebody came out with a wheelbarrow, and I gave up like 13 or 14. We got lit. I was terrible.
I love that, Tim.
We were terrible.
I need more of that. You know, my dad's, his favorite line of all time, hit the cut, two hands, make a play.
Totally.
Make a play,
he will
coach.
literally turn around and yell. Like, if you bobble a ball, he'll turn, make a play. Get it out. And he'll, like, clap at you. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm an adult. I've played the game.
Telling people just in public in life, like, to make a play. See a checker, like, drop something at the... Dude, make a play, man. Come on.
Like
I don't
LeBron
actually
catching the camera last night?
Pretty good.
That's called making a play.
Exactly.
Make a play. Yep, ring the bell.
Warriors making any plays?
Patrick Baldwin Jr., dude, PBJ, let him cook. It's funny
I wasn't even watching the game at that point.
I was watching.
And I'll work on a postgame show. I was just writing down notes. How are we going to get through this damn
Fezzy Fez, let's go to you, buddy.
I'm on the laptop for the first 3 quarters, and then the wifey goes, let's go to bed. And so we go up into bed, and I'm like, I got to put this on. And we're watching it. I'm like, okay. And she looks up, and I'm like, look at Patrick Baldwin Jr. She looks at me. She goes, turn this off. I'm like, wait, what? She goes, turn it off. They're getting crushed. I'm like, but the young man's stroking the 3. So I kept it on.
Dibs.
They're still paying for it.
They had an entire week off.
Yeah.
So everyone said they just need to get to the break. They just need to get to the break. And then yesterday, the vibes. Oh, the vibes.
Oh, boy.
And then
24 games.
These are all like euphemisms for not that good of a team.
Thank you.
The vibes are bad. All the injuries. And I get, like, a team without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins is going to be worse than a team that has them. I'm with that. But when you look at the depth, and what did Steve Kerr say? Didn't he say before the years, like, this feels more like strength in numbers? And they don't. There's no numbers. No. It's their top guys, and then
I tweeted something before the season, like, boy, the Warriors are so stacked. They're too deep everywhere. Oh, it's going to be a fun season.
B, you, me, and Mully came to the same opinion, and this is the truth. Hey, their second unit might be a playoff team.
Yeah.
You were part of that? That was just Mully. When did you become part of that?
I just threw myself in there.
Well, you remember, Bonte, you remember,
mind, I was there.
You, me, Shasky, and Mully were sitting there, and we all decided
I've got to do this because Shasky's brilliant at this, and I love him.
No, I heard this earlier.
So we're in Philadelphia, and Mully FaceTimes me, and so we have Clyde in the office with John Curley, right in the Hegan's office, and Shasky's running material trying to get the Clyde to come on board. And Shasky goes, you know, Mully FaceTimes us all the time. He FaceTimed us in Philadelphia. And I'm looking like, Wait, my phone is my number. Is this us? It's us now.
It's
Shasky's
the morning
in the
work
truck.
phone.
They have a work phone together.
As we're locked into the Uber in Philadelphia, Shasky out of nowhere. Is that bullying? What course is that?
I was in the back seat and I jumped to the front.
I thought I had my AirPods in. No, I'm kidding, man.
That's like me and Mark. We get Ramona Shelburne on, and he's
Momo.
like Momo. He's dropping Momo. So I'm like, so Momo, and it's like I'm trying to assimilate, Ephraim and
I have a new
Ornberger
nickname.
and all the rest of it.
The new nickname
Joy
for Mark.
Taylor.
It needs to be, honestly, it needs to be Luigi, because he's a Super Mario brother with the amount of drips that he's got in his
Totally.
plumbing system.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to call him Luigi from here on out.
Well, we talked about the rankings yesterday on who drips and drops the most names. It's between you and Mark. quite
No,
frankly.
not even close. I'm not.
It's actually
dude,
quite close.
Here's my take is it's Guru, because Guru
Man,
with the
thank
Phil
you.
Handy and the Mario Ellie,
Eddie House.
but he will tell you anytime
That's Briny
anybody
Blends.
Old pipes.
anybody recognizes him in public.
Absolutely.
He's like, I was at Best Buy, and the people were like, "Go ahead, Goo." He listens to the show.
Right.
I was out in the Yoon, president of the Yoon,
Thank you.
and they all love it. Dude, Guru drops names, not of famous people.
Exactly.
Not-
Just
he
in
drops his
general.
own name somehow.
Shout out Claude at
first of all,
Safeway.
12 to 3.
Recognize me, aisle 7.
12 to 3, Steiny Guru are top 2 when it comes to name drops.
Yes.
Because Steiny will look at his phone, Joe Lacob just texted me.
That might be a rare find.
I mean, come on. Hey, in D3, we had this coach, and he talks about Pete Carrill and this guy and this referee. So Steiny and Guru top 2 in the clubhouse.
Look at Coffee with
But-
Chris Finch.
But
Always
his
bring up bullying.
drops are water from 40
Timberwolves head
years
coach.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
your
still a
flexes
flex.
your flexes are like A1 top
I
of the
don't
list.
flex.
Steiny's
I
drops
only-
are like dust. They're more like
Totally. It's like hydrogen over here and oxygen over here.
Here's my favorite, by the way. So I heard yesterday when the crosstalk with Guru says, since you guys bring him up, that he's going to get into golf now, right? And
Oh,
so
yeah.
Love it.
I do too. There's two things. First, Bonte, you've now got to get into golf because I need the race to see who could break 100 first. Guru versus Bonte. That's
what would the odds be on that?
I got Bonte. Number 2.
Well, first of all, it's got to
don't
be
know.
the real 100. It can't be any like,
No,
oh, that's
mulligan
good.
hundreds.
Or, yeah,
Yes.
or
Not
that's
like
a
the time I
mulligan.
broke
Don't put that
100.
pressure on me,
Thank
man.
you.
Don't put that pressure.
Lay
I've never
off.
swung a golf club in my life.
Neither's Goo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Goo-
he has. He did at the 95-70 game
yeah,
tournament.
and I've already scouted his swing, and I love Goo. It's going to take some time. But my point being is that the other part of
Takes
that,
time for everyone.
hidden in the sauce, was Steiny saying that the reason he's not as good as golf as he should be is his inebriation sensation tactics.
That's a buck.
Which to me is a cop-out.
No, it's
There's a
just
drop
fact.
for this.
It's a fact.
What do you mean?
It's a fact because when I've played golf with Steiny
Yeah.
probably 300 times in my life.
Okay.
We used to play all the time. Schedules now.
And Steiny
I got
pulled
a
the weakest
baby.
move where he gave you back your 7-iron, was it? Remember that? Or
Oh
was
yeah. Well, it was a
weak
7-iron.
move.
No, it wasn't a weak move because I got a set from a friend. Shout out Dave Lawrence, and Steiny had borrowed the 7-iron from the set,
Okay.
and so he had my 7-iron when I got the set from Dave, and so I had to get the 7-iron
There's
back
a
from
big
Steiny.
fight about that.
It was more of a,
Steiny was like,
more
I
shtick.
shouldn't give it back. And then they took the picture with Steiny.
It was
giving
an
it back.
online bit.
We
That was-
were not happy.
Shout
Guru
out
and I.
Monarch Bay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guru and
We-
I were not happy.
we
with
feel
Steiny.
like he
Both
got
with
punked.
masks on, by the way.
You punked him.
Well, it was my 7-iron because I had the set, and it's a part of my set.
Absolutely.
And it's a set that I still have. But when you, if you wanted to go out there and really grind and play, it's different. And, guys like us, and
Yeah.
I know you're not a drinker, you don't teetotal anymore,
Yeah.
but if you were, then, that's kind of what you do when you go out and you golf. You have
Every
a couple.
one of my
and-
buddies does.
Exactly.
The way that you're talking about, where they
Yes.
let loose a little. And I look at it like the way I used to do bowling. There's like a happy medium when I
Right,
get to like
right.
3 to 5, 3 to 5
Sure.
beers, and I'm in the zone, Chief, and then I go too far.
Exactly. And bowling is a perfect example because if I'm 2 or 3 deep, I might get you a 160 or 170. If I'm stone cold, not Steve Austin, but stone cold sober, I might be lucky to crack a hundo.
Wow.
There's
it's-
a drug and alcohol problem.
That's
too.
what he was saying right there. And I was like, that sounds like a cop-out.
The
That's good producing right there.
The best thing I ever did with my golf game was stop keeping score. It's been the best thing because now when I launch my wedge over the green, I go to my cart, I put my wedge away, I grab my beer, I walk to my ball, I pick it up, I stand on the green with my buddies, and we shoot the blank.
And there you go.
And
It's
that's
great,
fine.
and I have
That's
a
fine. Keep the pace.
phenomenal time.
And have a good time. And
Yes,
it's ultimately
exactly.
all
Yes.
this is, and as you'll get into it, golf is crazy because you'll
I'm
start to
close.
play you'll start to play and you'll be like, I don't even care. Put me down for whatever.
Well, yeah.
But then you'll get to that point where it's like, damn, I'm starting to play. I'm going to keep my score. And you have a good round. And then you're going to shoot like a 107 or a 114. You'll be like, I'm done keeping score.
That's me.
The Warrior season may be over in early April, so your boy's going to have some time on his hands.
April's optimistic.
NBC, you need some Giants baseball coverage? I'll do some,
Yeah.
no playoff checks this year.
My sources say the season might end in March. They might forfeit the last week or two. I mean, honestly, after
we
last
might not
night,
see Stephen Curry again.
Like timeout. So we just you, Kyle Madsen, and Dan Dibley and myself since October. We've walked in here off air and we've been like, this team's just not good. We've been saying it off air forever. And
well, you always say it. Kyle's more
Dibs,
rational
how many
than
conversations have you and I had in passing over the last however many months saying it's just October? They're saying it's just November. It's just, and I'm like, look, at some point, like this is not a good team. Now, I still thought they could qualify for the playoffs. Even then, I might have overrated them.
but they still can. They still can qualify for the playoffs. And I put this out on Twitter about 20 minutes ago.
The math is
in terms of what would you rather have? Because right now they're plus 1,900 to win the chip, and the implied odds are 4%. And if they go into the lottery as the 10 seed in the West, their chance of getting a top 4 pick is also 4%.
Really?
So right now, knowing what we know about this team, where they are, Steph is hurt, Wiggins' personal issues, and all the rest of it, would you rather have a 4% chance of winning a chip or a 4% chance of getting a top 4 pick in the draft?
4% chance to win the title. Because they've had top 4 picks, they've had top 7 picks, they've had top 4 cheap picks. They haven't proven they could develop these guys.
Yeah, but think of how good they'd look on the bench next season.
Yeah, really? Oh my God.
Second timeline, 2 timelines.
Clapping for Ty Jerome.
That's a 3. That's a 3. I want to see them go out under the shield. They've never lost a Western Conference Series under Steve Kerr. I want to see them lose a Western Conference Series
when they're all healthy,
together.
yeah.
I want to see them all together and lose a Western Conference Series. And then I'm ready to say, all right, let's make some changes.
But they might not all be all together.
I know.
So, I mean, that to me becomes a giant asterisk. And by the way, if they go in the lottery, they have a 1% chance of getting Wembanyama.
Victor.
So, well, I mean, 1% chance of getting a 7-foot.
Does he set a good screen?
Probably
That's what I need.
Probably
to know.
not.
So, I was thinking about this. And
he'd be a good G leaguer.
Going off the board for just a split second.
Pin downs for Dante.
One of my buddies gave me a call, and he was talking about tanking, regular season, NBA, how unwatchable certain portions can become. Like right now, the Houston Rockets, they have the 13 wins, and they've got nothing to play for other than spoiler, which
they've lost 7 in a row. They're looking to get a win after the break.
Here's a concept, and you guys tell me if this is stupid or not. Dibs, I guess Premier League, they do some sort of a point system based on.
Yeah.
Okay, and they do the same thing in hockey, correct? Right?
Come on, I've been saying this for years.
So no, what he's saying, what my buddy was saying was that right at the trade deadline, you freeze everyone in Carbonite. You assign numerical value to all of the lower level teams. So forget the lottery anymore. And then this incentivizes teams to try to make a deal at the bottom at the deadline to get better. You get points and you gain points, right? So let's say I'm the worst team in the league. I get 20 points to start with, and then I get an extra 2 points for every single win. Whoever has the most points at the end would be the top drafter. So instead of just bottoming out in the last 20 games of the year, you're now incentivized based on a point system to try to win games. And so it just creates something at the end of the year. Is that better than the current lottery system we have?
I think the lottery system they kind of fixed in that the worst team no longer gets the best chance. So you get the bottom 3 all have an equal chance. And I like what you're saying, Joe, but unfortunately, much like the Premier League, if you look at the table every single year, the big money teams have the biggest chance to win, and the other 15 teams have no chance. And you look this year, it's Arsenal and it's Man City. There's the big 6 in the Premier League, and the big 6, other than the 1 year Leicester City, and it's considered the biggest upset in the history of modern sports. The fact that Leicester City won the chip, it's always one of the big 6 teams. So in your case about Houston and the Rockets, they're not good enough to capitalize on what you're talking about, even if they weren't tanking. And by the way, bet the Warriors tonight. The Warriors will beat Houston.
Who's playing for the Warriors?
Houston doesn't want to win.
They don't. They're not trying to win.
Incentivized
They're not trying to win. They're not trying to win at all.
Okay, but that's okay. The team might not be, but the players are very much going to try.
Kevin Porter Jr., if he's playing, is going to try to put on a show.
Correct.
Am I
So
wrong?
is Jalen Green. So
Right.
is Jabari Smith. Like, they have talented players.
Look at Kyle with
Who are
his
trying to
Rockets
win.
knowledge.
Big Rockets guy.
Are you
there you go. Big
doing the
Rockets.
script
But
for
back
him
to
tonight?
Dude, I am
It's funny because
all
earlier you're like,
over
name
League
3
Pass.
Rockets. And before you even got through that,
before-
Bonte named 7
Right,
Rockets.
you're exactly. My
And
boy
they
Shane
played at the
Goon.
Smoothie
My
King
boy
Center,
Shane-
which used to be the Toyota Center.
The Toyota Center. They used to play at the Summit back in the day with
I
Hakeem
listened to the whole
Olajuwon,
thing.
Vernon
I was
Maxwell,
dying.
Katie Smith. The Summit, the
We're in
old Summit.
reruns.
They had
Is
the
it
little
noon
pink
yet?
logo on the
Seriously.
court. Anyway, the Premier League.
Pink logo.
They did. Remember the old Summit with the little logo they had on
Oh,
the
yeah.
court?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no
don't
doubt.
remember that.
The Premier League table,
Thanks,
though.
Stevie franchise.
I love that table because you're going to win. Do away with the conferences. Screw it. Forget West Coast,
Yeah,
East
give me
Coast, all that
Boston
stuff.
Warriors
give me
first
one
round.
league,
I'm
and you
with
get one table, and you get 3 points for a win. Hell, do some ties. No overtimes in the regular season, right? Have a tie. You tied at the end of regulation, you have a tie, you get 1 point.
Americans hate ties.
I know they do, but
Americans
you know
hate
what?
ties.
That would make me
And
happy.
if you did one table, then you would have to go to everybody plays each other twice, which
Yup.
would be a 58-game schedule, which we will
Sounds
never,
great.
ever
Ever
do.
have.
We're
I
never
told
going to
you.
reduce games.
I told you.
And you know,
I'm Bonte Hill. What a tie! What a tie! We're
Dude,
going to talk.
gut to tie.
First ever high school football story I ever wrote. St. Ignatius and Milpitas High School at SI, I think 2010 or something. It was a tie. And I remember I looked around and I said, how the hell do I write this story? How do you write about a tie? It was my first ever football game story. It was tough. It was
Yeah,
a tough
That's
read.
brutal.
Brutal. Very
Exactly.
So how does all that fix the All-Star game? I'm joking.
No, well, what I was trying to say is that
Lost
it's
it.
the
reserved
All-Star
for
game
one.
is Old Yeller. Unfortunately, you
Yeah,
get to a
it's done.
point where,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
was-
it may be too soon on the Old Yeller reference, but spoiler alert, Old Yeller doesn't pull through. And and the All-Star game is Old Yeller. You get to that point where you got to take a hard look at Old
Right.
Yeller and go, you know what? It's been a good run,
It's been
little
a good
fella.
run. That's why
Yeah.
you go to Cabo during the All-Star break.
Exactly.
Take vacations,
Well,
buddy.
what I said yesterday was if I'm Adam Silver, I go, okay, you guys don't want to try in the All-Star game anymore? Guess what? There's no more All-Star break. We go from October to April.
I kind of like
Bye-bye,
that.
All-Star
Yeah, I would
break.
too.
I like that.
Yeah, you guys don't want to
That's a
try?
great call.
You don't get 9 days off anymore.
Wow.
Night, night.
That's a great call. I'm watching this team, and look, we could argue to a blue in
okay.
the face about all the things.
Which
that's
team?
wrong.
Team Giannis or Team LeBron?
Warriors.
I'm with you, Kyle.
We need the All-Star break. Oh, we just need to get to the All-Star
Yeah.
break. And then
They
you
still
showed
need to
last
get
night.
there.
It's just,
Dude, at least they played Damian Lillard. What are you doing, bro? 9 days off,
And you put out a
can't-
rap
The
video?
plane, well, their
Dude.
and
plane,
you put out a rap video.
their plane was delayed, and it
Ah,
landed
my
after
fault. Yeah.
it landed after Dame time.
Exactly.
Wow,
a
you
two.
were holding that one. I like
He was
that.
holding
I
too
tried,
tight.
I tried it out in a group chat last night.
like,
Didn't
it
work,
was
so I brought it with me.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad? NBC yesterday, the Kings are playing, and they're down 15 in the first quarter. And Kings fans was like, oh, should we live bet now? Should we live bet it? And I'm like, damn, that used to be me with the Warriors 3 years ago. Oh, they're down 15. Let's live bet it. Kings fans are like, let's live bet. And then third quarter, like, hey, Bonte, look at the score. They're up like 10. They're up 12. They end up winning by 16. Like, maybe I have to look at the live betting Kings games. That's how bad it is right now for your boy.
Well, they put that up on the TNT broadcast last night of the Laker-Warrior game in the third, and they're like, the live line, 11 and a half. And I'm thinking, 11 and a half?
Yeah.
You got to fire on this if you're a Laker fan.
Did you watch on
And
TNT?
what, they win by 11?
13.
Kevin
you-
Porter
it got
Jr. and
crazy.
Jalen Green
Dicey.
are out per Lucas Alexander.
So
PBJ.
did you watch
Spread
any
buster.
of the end of the Philadelphia game?
I watched the highlights,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I tune in and I'm like, oh, when's the Warrior game going to be turning on? And I'm watching the crowd and the sense of urgency. James Harden diving on the floor, and I'm saying, God, I miss sense of urgency basketball.
Dude,
yeah.
Seeing that
Seriously.
arena explode and how crazy. And I'm just thinking, then we go to the Lakers, and I know Staples and people are coming in late. It was like going from varsity to freshman ball.
Crazy,
Right?
It's so different.
Am I alone in that?
That just separate from that, the Joel Embiid block on John
So
Morant
sick.
was one of the most electric plays I've seen in the regular season in so long. It was just two of the game's best players just mano a mano at the rim.
Then him
I
dunking.
couldn't get enough. of
That
it.
monster two-hand
Yeah.
dunk,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Crowd's going
So
crazy.
good.
And remember, we are spoiled, though, because we had,
I
even
know,
before
I
the
know.
championship run, Oracle was Roracle for a reason.
of course.
No matter what, Charlotte could be in town, and it was a hype crowd. It was lively. And now we're in this spot, 29 and 30. They are the epitome of flaccid. And we could talk about the young guys or the rotations or all the rest of it. The Warriors just aren't good enough.
I agree.
Bottom
but
line.
here's where I'm so frustrated is because I'm not ready for this to be over. Because I love this team, and I wanted to squeeze as much of this out as we possibly can. And it feels like it's crashing.
Were you ready for the Harbaugh era to be over?
No.
Were you ready for the Buster Posey era to
nope.
bump Garner Lincecum?
I was like shocked that Buster Posey
Joe
retired.
Montana. You're never ready for
But
it.
the Harbaugh era ended kind of how this is ending. I mean, they kind of limped into an 8-8.
Yeah, it's a good call.
It was like, and Harbaugh kind of lost the locker room, and all of a sudden they weren't good enough. And I'm not saying Steve Kerr's lost the locker room, but this team feels like
has he lost the owner?
I don't know if he's lost the GM. I don't know who's lost whom. We're going to find out. But you paid Jordan Poole. He got knocked out. You started 3-7, and you haven't recovered.
Knocked out. That actually happened.
Well, he got knocked out. He didn't get knocked out. I give him credit for not getting knocked out.
Well, Draymond held him up. But
right, what a guy. What a leader. What a leader.
But right then and there, when you think about it, I think right then and there, maybe this team was divided. Because it feels like there's the youngsters and the veterans.
Totally.
And everybody tried to, not everybody, but we kept bringing like, yo, is this thing lingering? And you got to think that it has lingered.
And the part of what makes this so frustrating is that Niners team in 2014, there was all the Harbaugh stuff going on with him and Trent Baalke, and then the Jed York tweet at Thanksgiving, and it's just kind of like, this season's done.
And
it's
the
a wrap.
injuries too.
With it, right?
Willis out for the whole year.
With this Warriors team, the reason it's so frustrating to me is you look at where they're at, and we're talking about they're not good enough, and they don't have this guy, and they not playing young guys, and then you look at the standings, and you're like, yeah, but if Steph gets back and they win 5 in a row, they're back in the 6th seed.
I know.
Like it's just there.
It's true.
Is that false hope?
Yes, and that's why it sucks, because I'm not, after last year, I said I'm never writing off a Steph Curry team again.
Right.
Like I will never, as long as Steph has a chance to play and will play and is mathematically in it, I'm like, yeah, why not? So that's part of it. But then I look at what this team is, and it's like, this is not a title team.
Steph does cover up a lot, and if he does come back and they're, say, 1 game under 500, then, yeah, we're probably back on board because it is Steph, and you have to pay him that respect.
Yep.
We just have no idea when Steph is coming back. And we have no idea when Andrew Wiggins is coming back.
True.
That's 50 points right there.
And you're not writing him off, but in all honesty, in fairness to the audience, you are currently holding a pen. So, yeah.
Dan, can I ask you this one? I threw this to Slater, and he didn't have an answer.
It's awkward.
He didn't have an answer. And B, I'd love your opinion. Kyle, yours as well. We all love Steph. He's amazing. He's the unicorn, blah, 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 blah. He has only played, outside of 2019, which is the outlier of the broken hand, he's only played like 60 games of the 82 in just about every other season over the last 5-6 years. Can he be making that much money? Can you cater every roster decision, all of the offensive sets, everything around him for the regular season, not the playoffs, around Steph Curry moving forward?
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
So
Steph when
Curry,
he has the 20-game absence, nothing else looks right because he's not there. Because every single roster decision,
what choice do you have, honestly? Because if Draymond opts out, you can't replace his salary because you're already over the cap. And Clay is signed for next year. And you just gave Jordan Poole the big bag, and the guy can't stay on his feet.
And he can't play alongside
Andrew Wiggins is signed for the next 3 years, so you really don't have any roster flexibility to do anything if you wanted to.
Well, he needs a Robin, right? He needs that sidekick like a Kevin Durant that he had when they brought him over here. So you need a player like that of that caliber to kind of carry Stephen Curry. Well, look, you look at his games played, 69-5. We all were like, hey, 5 games, great. You tanked this year. You're not going anywhere anyway. 63-64, and now to 38. And we don't know when he's coming back. So, yeah, you have to account for Stephen Curry. But even with Stephen Curry in the lineup, how many games have they blown? They've blown games
too many
with Steph.
Yes.
And Steph has been accountable for some of those games that you've blown, like Boston and Orlando.
But Monte, like the style of this team's play, if I were to say, what's their offensive identity? They want to be ball movement, motion offense. And what I'm saying is that that's so unique and works great when Steph's out there.
Right.
He's not out there enough to cater all of the other guys on the roster to that style of play. I just need slight evolution of, can we mix in some pick and rolls and some dives and some things that other guys do well? Because the rest of the league, there are so many more players that play different brand of basketball, and it's so difficult to fit just a Steph-centric offense. And I think he could evolve his game slightly as well.
But how do you evolve this team into what you're describing? Because you've got Jordan Poole, who can attack the rim, but he's not going to get to the foul line. You have no post-up presence.
Exactly.
You are a jump-shooting team. You are the team that Charles Barkley described 8 years ago when he erroneously said, this jump-shooting team can't win a chip. Well, they won 4. But the team he was describing is this team. You play fast, you play reckless, you shoot a ton of threes, and you don't defend. That's the team he's describing.
I agree, but I would say you're right. And the versions before were way more athletic. They would
and they defended.
They would get 3 or 4 stops in a row, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. I'm just saying, like, they've got to do some evolution here. And Steph's so damn good, he can evolve slightly. When he's out there, of course, you can run a lot of those sets, but we've got to mix it up a little.
You need a guy who can get you easy buckets and get to the free throw line.
Yes,
and point of attack defense again. And one thing that we don't talk about enough is the fact that teams live at the free throw line and they're able to set their defense against the Golden State Warriors night in and night out. They're last in opponent's free throw attempts. They're not going to win many basketball games.
And that's why I think Gary Payton II is such a vital piece. And I mean, part of the James Wiseman trade was the financial aspect of it, but they went and got Gary Payton II because if you can just stop the ball once, twice, it helps.
3 times defense.
It helps us everything else defensively. How many times did Austin freaking Reeves get into the paint?
Incredible.
Get into the paint last night. I don't want to throw shade at Austin Reeves. He's an NBA player,
dude. But he should not. Beasley, you had no answer.
He should not. He should not be.
Players come off the bench and scoring double figures.
Right.
5.
He should not be breaking down your defense and collapsing the defense every time he has the ball in his hand.
But it's not. I hear you on Gary Payton, but he played like 18 minutes a game last year, right? Like right now, it is a team-wide problem of staying in front of your guy.
No doubt, but it's trying to find like solutions. And I think if you have Gary Payton II, at least stopping the ball, guarding a guy full court, like I think it helps.
Yeah.
And even if it's 18 minutes a game, like I'll take 18 minutes.
Well, the problem, and he and I are going to get into this more as the show goes on, but the problem with this defense is you lose the point of attack, so then it's help, and recover. And it eventually leads to a wide open 3. So if you don't get beat initially, now we don't have to play so much help and desperation defense that they're doing.
But when you have guys on the floor, Poole, who will never stay in front of his man, Clay can't stay in front of a lot of these guys anymore.
Are we sure it's can't or just doesn't?
You tell me.
It's
lateral quickness is a part of the game, and like some guys are better and want to play harder defense.
Klay Thompson at this stage still defends better than Jordan Poole.
I agree.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Definitely.
And that's sad.
And DiVincenzo can still play some defense.
Right, he still plays some defense.
But Klay last year in the finals, the turning point for me in the finals, it was during Game 4. Steph was obviously unbelievable in that game. But Klay, like with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, just started staying in front of Jaylen Brown. It's like, what the hell is this? This is crazy.
But Jaylen can't dribble.
No doubt, but he was still
he could blow by you.
No, but I'm just saying
every time.
And when Boston visited Chase Center this season, Klay was in front of Tatum at times. It was not only Kuminga, it was not only Wiggins. Klay Thompson was staying in front of Tatum, so he can defer big boys, but he can't do it for, say, 35 minutes.
I went to
but he can do it for
before
stretches.
the post game. Where's your panic meter?
Oh, the needle's broken. The needle's broken. Oh, I've never been that way. That's how you know it's bad.
Man.
LeBron James and AD.
Totally.
You know when Egon goes in and the 2 little things go shooting up? That's Bonte walking into NBC Bay Area.
My God.
The spirits are
Was that
everywhere.
another Star Wars reference?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
I was lost.
2 different universes.
And I didn't have you as Winston. I had you as Egon.
Listen, man, like, the needle's broken because I don't know when Steph's coming back. I don't know when Wiggins is coming back. Teams are shooting. The Warriors are 19th in the league when it comes to the opponent's three-point percentage. Like, the Lakers shot 33% from the three-point line coming into that game.
Yeah.
It was 16 or 30. Like, it was nothing. And I see that trend every single game. A team comes in, they average. Mully asked me, what's the three-point makes for this team per game? Oh, 11. Well, that team's at 11 in the first half.
They gave up 32 in the first quarter.
So, just collapsing. So to your point, collapsing the defense and no rim protection.
Man.
They're going to the cup at will.
Yeah.
No respect for
I
Looney or
love
Draymond.
Radio Bonte.
You get your 6 minutes of Draymond rim protection tonight, and that's all you get.
That's it, yeah.
It was a
Radio
great
Bonte.
showcase, though, for the Lakers.
Hey,
really nice.
So they look good.
No,
His
I
fans
meant
are pumped.
Draymond showcasing himself for the Lakers.
What a crosstalk. I would have continued to do the show with
Stick
you guys.
around,
man. I love
dude.
you guys,
Stick and
man.
stay.
Watch Party
We're
Will.
back in
Where you
5.
at?
I'm not going to do that.
All right, no, I got to swim classic. I got to go. Baby
Attaboy,
Tess.
baby
You got to drive
Tess.
that Tesla.
Have a good weekend, boys.
All right, you guys have a good show.